very good evening to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Abisai Ndeunjema. Tonight on the platform we are joined by Abisai Ndeunjema, who's Executive Chairperson of Lotus Consulting and Technology Group, if I got that right. And he's here to, just tell us about the entity, what it does, and how it can be of usefulness to Namibians. Of course, everybody creates business to serve a certain purpose, and Mr. Ndeunjema is here to serve exactly that. Thank you very much, my brother, for making time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
Your company, maybe you're a young man.
Yeah.
When did you start this?
Yeah, we started our business in roughly 2019 or 2018. And we started our trade from a consulting engineering background.
Yeah.
But specializing what you call industrial engineering or business engineering.
Okay.
And we worked a lot with local authorities, and then we moved into state-owned enterprises.
Okay.
So we worked especially a lot in the public sector, or between the public sector and the private sector.
Yeah.
And we focused on strategy, business engineering, performance management. Those are our main focus area, and then later on we got also into technology and system design. So we are very ventured into the public sector transformation space, and hence our interest a lot in terms of that from a consulting point of view. But over the years, we have now grown to also how to assist smaller enterprises in different sectors. And whether now it's in fishing or construction, whatever that sector that we find is the biggest one that we want to tackle on, that is our long-term ambition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Business engineering, for the viewer watching just and hearing the term for the first time, what does it entail?
Yeah. So a business is like a building. It has components and parts that must be put together for it to function. Yeah. So for the layman, it's a system that has people, processes, technology, and a culture. Yeah. A culture is how people behave in that organization. The processes that you put within your organization will determine how successful it is. It also must have a strategy on how it should operate. Now, the art of putting those components together is what it's called business engineering, which can go further now, whether if it's into supply chain or it will go into financial side. Some people even call it financial engineering. Yeah. But business engineering is a whole setup. If you want to start a business, you would come to us and say, this is my idea. How do I put this idea so that from your plan into execution, that system works? The same way a car, you physically see it there, but somebody had to design that car with certain mechanics for it to function in a certain way. The way you design a Land Cruiser versus a BMW, completely different principle. It's the same with a business. Do you want a BMW or do you want a Land Cruiser? All of those mechanics of putting the business together is what is called business engineering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm captivated by the part of the fishing industry part. What kind of services do you offer, or if anybody wanted to knock on your door, what can they stumble upon?
Okay. First and foremost, the fishing sector, like any other sector, like let's say, for example, I like the taxi industry. You can get into the taxi industry whether you are you have your licenses and you're in them to other people, or you are taking the route of the buses. You are now either taking the Yango route. You decide where you want to operate in the sector. So the first part that we would help a right holder that has a quota or wants to get into that is the strategy. How do you enter into the sector? Do you want to get into it as an operator? So if you want to enter as an operator, you need to have serious capital, because there's a vessel required. There is people that you must keep to run. It's a little bit more complex if you start on the upstream side. Or you can become a distributor, wholesaler. Means you want to buy from the people that are producing, put it in this warehouse, and then you have some sort of market where you are selling this fish. Or you are essentially coming in as a retailer. So in this case, you just want to sell the final product at the end of the day. So what we can help essentially is with a strategy. We can also help on how to structure your organization to remain compliant, because the sector requires a certain level of compliance, particularly with the Ministry of Fisheries and Land Reform. So being compliant is how you set up yourself. There is a right holder or the shareholders in the company. Then there are board members. Then there are management. So for you to decide who becomes what and the advisory of that and the skill set that you need in your team to succeed, that is one aspect that we can assist. Then in part of remaining compliant, which we call governance services, we can help in terms of the upcoming right holders or right holders that are in their infancy on how to maintain that governance and making sure that their business is intact at the end of the day.
Okay. And when it comes to that tedious process to apply for fishing quotas and stuff like that, is that something that you get involved?
Yes, definitely. In the sense that we see ourselves as an administrative backbone, because remember, we from our history we have dealt with very complicated organizations. So we can provide the necessary administrative capacity for you to be able to, whether you are doing a renewal process or you are doing a new application, the requirement that the ministry wants you to go through. And if you are a first timer or you're not very experienced or administration is just not your baby, we'll essentially say, look, this is my information, put this together so that it's something that is coming from a proper, well done job. So that's really what we can assist.
Okay. And if I was applying as an entity, whether for a fresh application to enter that space or it's for the renewal of my stay in the waters, up to what point do you go? How far do you go in preparing me? Is it a question of you essentially doing everything, we agree on the terms and then we part ways, or do you leave it up to a particular point and then I take over from there on?
Okay. So the first step is information gathering, because if you're doing renewal, it's a performance evaluation process. And remember, I said at the beginning, we are specialists in performance management, and our performance type of management is what we call evidence-based performance management. So we'll help you collate your information and structure it in a way that is presentable to the ministry, obviously compliant with their frameworks on how they want their information. So packaging that information. For a renewal, we will do that same way with an application. In an application, you might need a motivation, you might need a strategy. So we will help in terms of crafting that strategy unique to how you want to enter the sector. And then obviously that packaging needs to be submitted to the ministry. Ministry does their job of evaluating. There could be back and forth in terms of the ministry responding to you. It's only two outcomes that comes from the ministry, granted or not granted. So either outcomes, we can see how to essentially assist you in handling that. The ministry might say, we'll reconsider with these ABCD conditions, and then we come in as your advisor in helping you address those conditions. Now, after, let's say it's positive and you are re-granted or you are granted as a new applicant, how do you now get into the sector? How to approach the operator? What does the operator expect? What kind of capital do you need? And how does the sector actually operate? And a lot of people, particularly new applicants, might not know how the sector operates. If you are a successful renewal applicant, then you say, okay, you have been a right holder for the last 5 years. Do you want to remain a right holder? Do you want to get into distribution? Do you want to get into operations? How do you actually grow your business? Not just to be a license holder or a right holder. That is essentially you are collecting rental fees. Everyone at the end of the day, every business must grow to some point. So we are here to help grow the infant right holding companies.
Okay.
Yes.
I know that, I mean, at the face of it,
Yeah.
I mean, because I know also that it's a very competitive space.
Yes.
every, you are flooded as a ministry. You are flooded with applications.
Yes.
And I suppose the ministry will look at the best options that are on the table.
Yes.
Just how competitive is that process, so that as an aspiring applicant, I know that I need to put my best foot forward by coming to entities like yours, as opposed to somebody who says, nah, I'll just put something together myself. Just how important is it to have a very competitive application?
Okay. You must provide, I like to say, the best foot forward, number one. And providing the best foot forward is at first, and I'll put it in these two ways. If you are a new applicant, you must have a convincing story. A convincing story that says, this is why I want to enter the sector. This is what I'm going to do for the country. This is my capacity. For capacity, we are meaning that, do you have financial means? Do you have partners? How do you see yourself playing as a significant role player in the sector? Now, I also believe that if you are a renewal applicant, then your documentation must be impeccable. You must show the ministry that these are my minutes, these are my financial statements, this is my evidence of my CSR, not just pictures that I took from the internet and I say I did this. One of your shareholders or members that have actually gone to there, you must have your letters of appreciation, and you should also indicate that I have invested in a fish shop, I have invested in a vessel or a factory, and this is my share certificate. All of that information, as you are presenting it to the ministry, the difference, the index difference between the guy that have just put things together and versus a person that is telling the ministry a story is what will make you or essentially convince the ministry officials that this person essentially deserves to continue this right, or this person deserves that right. Of course, there is no industry where everybody's in. There has to be some level of competition. And that competition allows the best people to stay in the sector.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We go for a very short break and return with Abisai Ndeunjema.
Thank you.
We are continuing our conversation on the evening review with Abisai Ndeunjema from Lotus Consultancy and Technology. Let's talk about your entity's endurance for the past 7 years, nearly, because 2019 to now is exactly that. That period saw COVID coming and going, and many other challenges, recessions and everything. A lot of businesses collapsed on their faces. But somehow you guys are here still standing for an entity that is pretty new. What has been the secret to survival?
Okay, so if you look in one of our in our logo, there's what we call limitless insight, enduring solutions, and the keyword being enduring. We started in COVID, and we were having a project with one of our clients. And we were required to engage clients at a time when nobody wants to see you face to face. But we had a contract, and we needed to find a way to execute that contract. So I would love to say around the period of COVID 2019, 2020, we grew our business for some weird reason. And one of the pushes in terms of getting us somewhere was the digital transformation that was happening that period, because a lot of organizations were trying to go online, how to automate their businesses so that they can become more efficient or be able to see themselves giving services in a digital way. A simple solution that we worked with one of the clients was just e-signatures. You remember that time people were just sending signatures on paper. Now, getting executives to be comfortable to upload their signatures, and then they sign and they are comfortable that it is actually legit. Those are some of the things that we're faced in dealing with. And I think through that process of surviving through a difficult period made us a very enduring company that can withstand all different cycles that the company goes through. They say statistically, a company needs 5 to 7 years to mature.
Yeah.
After that, it can survive a lot of storms.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And just also as an indigenous Namibian business,
Yeah.
what are the challenges that you face? Is it, for example, are you guys happy with the corporate tax regime of the country? Is it too exploitative? Are you allowed to, is there enough infant industry protection for entities like yours? Are you allowed to, are you just left to compete with these huge multinationals, or is there a special regime for locals to thrive?
The regime.
Yeah.
I think this is a statistics that's out there. Namibia doesn't have the best place to do business. That's statistically been proven, and I think the environment is good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
The policies and the governing structures are great.
Yeah.
But what it also does on the other side makes it very difficult for a person that is starting up or trying to grow their business to actually move fast enough. You need to be compliant to this, you need to be compliant to that. If you, like, for example, working in the public sector and you are submitting a simple bid, you need about 8 or so certificates. Imagine how many SMEs and startups can actually maintain that level of compliance. Remember, some businesses is just 3 or 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
It's not 20 people working on these different types of certificates. And you need to make sure these certificates are up to date, and everything within that underlying sense of the certificate must be up to date. That's the other part. The other one is talent and the culture of the talent. I just saw a recent work done, very good work done by one of our industry players, Monaza Advisory. They did a study where they showed 19% of Namibians, young Namibians, 44% are unemployed, but 19% are unwilling to start a business. Now, to get the talent that is committed and willing to take that journey with you of growing and starting a business is another, what I call, hidden challenge that we are facing as a country. So there is a lot of multifaceted issues currently in the country that needs a coordinated approach on how to address. But I would say that let's create the platform to allow a Toivo or a Maria to start a business as easily as possible. Because I'm one of the believers that the state shouldn't be the primary creator of jobs. It should be the private sector. Every economy, whether like a state-controlled economy like China or any other state, you will see that the private sector is the one that creates most jobs, not the state. And I believe that when you create that platform to allow anybody to start and grow their business, that's where most jobs are going to come from. A simple tax regime that I would love to see happen in the country is R&D tax. If I'm creating a new product, and if I'm creating a new innovation, I must get a tax break to allow that innovation to grow. But when you already have your new product, you already have VAT that is getting onto it. So there is a lot of that can be done. And it's not only the state to work on it, but also the private sector to see how they can help the state in creating a much easier working environment.
Yeah. Is it harder when it's when these entities are started by a young person? Maybe your wealth portfolio is not yet big, because sometimes you go to DBN or whatever, and you are required to have some collateral of some sort.
Yes.
But maybe you're just fresh from university, you studied abroad, you have these good qualifications and insights, and you just want to do business. Is it even harder for younger people to get into that space?
Definitely. Definitely, because the current, let me call it the fiscal structure of the country is designed for an established business. This is really the truth, in the sense that a lot of our financing instruments available are geared to an established business. Now you are coming with no collateral. You just have a great idea. Who is going to fund you? No one.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the bank, even the SME division, they have a KYC list of 20 things that you must provide them.
Yeah.
And then they ask you, what's your collateral? I'm like, I just finished university. I don't have any collateral. My parents are not willing to give up their life savings for me, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they are not going to give their house as a collateral for my business idea. So what are you left with? So it is obviously a bit challenging. Hence you see that the government does try. If you are coming up with maybe you got a small job like a tender, the government can assist you with an upfront payment so that you can get started. Yeah. But that doesn't happen anymore because of many issues that have happened with that model. So I would come to the point that for a young being, whether you are 18 to 35 or 40, for you to start a business, it's really not easy. Yeah. The second part that makes it difficult is that your friends and family are also not supporting you. Yeah. So I'm going to Toivo, I have this brilliant idea. I just need 10,000 from you. And Toivo is like, what? What is that? That's not. The first thing is they'll say that's not going to work. Yeah. Now you need to fight all of those difficulties to convince everyone around you to raise capital around and essentially start your business. Not just start your business, also maintain it. Yeah. Remember, when you start the business, there's payroll that you must meet. Yeah. So I think it's definitely much harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For those that are watching and may be interested in calling you up, tell us a bit about your track record. What are some of the highlights? What are those things that you are proud of as Lots to say, look, that project we really excelled. That is our highlight, our pride. If you can list whatever you can do.
Yeah. No, I think I have to say to the country that to every viewer that is sitting out there, I would want to say we are the innovators and pioneers of what we call digital performance management system. We have our own engineered Namibian product that we developed around since 2018, 2019. And we have deployed that across about 5 or so local authorities that are using our performance management system. And one of the biggest transformation that we've done is a local authority called Kurenkuru. And we like to promote them because we are very proud of what they have done. A very small local authority. But that system alone has transformed the culture of that institution. They've created what we call a high performance culture, whether the leader is there or not. But that institution has essentially been transformed by our system. Another part that we say that for the viewer out there is that so far we have worked with probably 80 plus public institutions and state-owned enterprises. We are talking the biggest ones, Transnamib, Namcos, and all of that. And we believe one of our outputs or outcome has helped that organization move forward. And we have that track record of being able to operate in a very difficult and competitive space. As a Namibian company, our competition, the way we see, is not ABCD Consulting. Our real competition is Deloitte, KPMG, or whoever those are that are the multinational organization. That is the people that we actually compete and see ourselves as our peers. And we want the viewer or the potential client that's out there to be comfortable that they are working with a proper and professional company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where can you be found?
So we can be found in Windhoek. Our office is in Windhoek North. Our email is also available for contact. Okay. So we'll be able to share that with you guys if that's possible.
Yeah, please.
So
you can share maybe the number or email just for anyone to reach out.
Yeah, to reach out to you. Yeah, but we have our headquarters are in Windhoek North. Yeah.
Okay. No, wonderful.
Good.
But it was a pleasure, man, talking to you. It's really exciting to see young people taking the next step.
Yeah.
And thriving in business.
Yeah.
We hope our platform can only help really to boost your progress.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for just one final point for the viewer out there and the listener is that we believe in the mix of the old and the young.
Yeah.
So anyone that is starting a business, mix it up.
Yeah.
Because a Toivo with a gray hair and a Maria with fresh from university together, they make the dream team.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Appreciate it. That is Mr. Abisai Ndeunjema. He is from Lotus. Let me just check out the name properly. Yeah. He's executive chairperson of Lotus Consulting and Technology Group. Just telling us what the company does and what has been the journey so far. Thank you for watching.